What a day to just sit and think about all that we have in Australia, our diversity, and the beauty of that diversity. And I know we're living through really, really hard times in terms of how the conversations we're having as a nation about who is Australian, who is not Australian, what is an Australian, what is not Australian, having a barbie, some chili in my case, that I think that makes me an Australian. Don't like footy, but that's okay, you can forgive me for that. But we're having really hard conversations right now. And Harmony Day gives us a time to really just sit still and appreciate what we have, and I think focus on the positive. I came to Australia in 2001 when I was just 13 with my mom and my sister. We came to Australia like your family with hopes and dreams of a better life. We didn't choose Australia. When war broke out in Sierra Leone where I was born, I was only 3. Not long after that, my father was killed. We were displaced in our own home, which means we couldn't actually leave to seek refuge. We were refugees in our own country. We did that for a couple of years before finally being able to leave and seek refuge in Gambia and living in a refugee camp for 3 years. I remember when this white man came to interview us, to talk to us about our experience, to deem us worthy of being resettled somewhere in the world, not knowing it might be Australia, it could have been the US or Canada. But more than that, we can walk to the voting booth and nobody's trying to kill us. The people are getting killed just based on their political beliefs, or can't even get to the voting booth without army, men with guns standing there. We're lucky. When I came to Australia, I thought, gee, finally I can be myself. You know, I can be an African Australian, whatever that looked like. Because nobody defined it for me. My mom wanted me to be very African at home. So yes, ma'am, whatever she said goes. Then I go to school, and I'm trying to speak in English, but it's not my first language, and by the time I translate things into the 2 other languages and get to English, people have walked away from the conversation. Because I'm taking too damn long to actually say what I need to say. It's like, oh, okay, I thought we were having a conversation. Fine, all right, I'll just move along now. I spent 5 years of my life at a girls' school. And I finally learned what it means to be resilient. You think war would teach me resilience? Yeah, try being in a girls' school. That really teaches you resilience. But my experience in high school really speaks to the heart of what Elizabeth wanted me to talk about today, cultural intelligence. I went to Mitcham Girls High School, 600 white girls, the only ethnic kid. And when I say I was the only ethnic kid, I mean I was really the only ethnic. There wasn't any Asian, no Aboriginal, nobody. It was just me, this chocolate, beautiful chocolate girl, and everybody else who was vanilla next to me, everywhere. That was it. It was very daunting. I don't know who it was more daunting for though, them or me. That is what these next 5 years looked like. Kids who were told what black people were like. Kids who watched movies and thought I would behave in a certain way because I was black. So most people expected either I couldn't speak English or make animal noises because I was raised by lions and tigers. Or I rode a tiger or lion to school, and I said, did you ride a kangaroo to school this morning? Because that would make sense, they didn't obviously. Or people assuming Africa was a country, not a continent. So who is the president of Africa again, Khadija? It's a continent, it's not a country. Assumptions were made before I even opened my mouth. And then I had teachers, I had people who, with no understanding of where I was coming from, offered compassion and kindness. One school, 2 different experiences. The kids thought I was strange, I talked funny, and I sounded funny. And I remember the feeling of knowing that I was different, because I didn't know I was different. I came from a place where everybody was black, so there was no sense of I'm different, we're all black. Then I come into a place where My blackness couldn't have stood out if I tried. So I realized I am different. Okay? And this different is not being treated as a good thing. It's being treated as a bad thing. How do I deal with that? I got bullied a lot. And at some point I said to my mom, I'm never going back to school. My mom being this